Okay, so welcome to Wrath of Aquarius podcast. I'm here with Alex Bordonaro, and we're talking about how much we fucking hate New York because of, literally the laws just it makes it so impossible to literally live here. And just, because, go off of what you were saying before, bro. About how, literally that you're saying about how, all these laws makes it so hard to live pretty much because it makes you at risk because then you can't just like what you were saying before when all these because you're saying New York laws they put people in poverty and shit like that because before some shit happens with say you can't get a car or something like that and now it's because of New York that you can't
New York takes away your ability to provide for yourself.
Yeah.
If you're doing well, they tax you more. In my case, they restrict your ability to drive, and they say that you have to wait 25 days before you can re-register your vehicle due to a ticket that really had nothing to do with anything wrong that I did or any bad action that I took. And now I can't drive to work. Thankfully, I work from home, but the state doesn't know that. They very well could have completely fucked my ability to go to work, earn a living, keep a roof over my head, and, then when I turn around and I can't pay my my credit card bill, my credit score drops. Credit score drops, can't buy a house, can't buy a car, and you're forever dependent on welfare, right? Democrats, they push for welfare because they want you to be dependent on them.
Yes.
The notion that you could be self-sufficient on your own and not be dependent on them, they can't.
It's like a controlling parent.
Yep.
It's like they want so much control over you, and then because they don't know what's gonna happen to you, or they don't know if you're gonna fuck up, or if they're gonna all this stuff. It's because they don't know, so they get anxiety, so they need to control you. The government does not need to control you. The government should not be in our fucking lives as much as it is.
And I think I said something before that, cops enforce compliance, but the state controls them. The state funds them.
Yes. And
the state, in turn, controls people's ability to comply with laws.
Yes.
So in my case, there was a lapse insurance policy when my parents... When I was buying my own insurance policy, the car was registered to my dad's name. He didn't cancel. He didn't wait until I got a new policy to cancel the previous one. And I was driving without a registration. I get pulled over, and now I have to wait 25 days before I can re-register the car. And it's just either way you're fucked. Either way, there's no. I just can't.
Yeah, because you were saying that because you had to turn in your plates, and then because your plates are turned in, if a cop comes in and sees your car,
right,
he
so
has
it's
he can tow your car,
right.
But
so it's the
state,
right. So the state tells you can't drive your car. You have to surrender your plates to rectify to resolve to satisfy the ticket.
Yeah,
you have to surrender your plates, but the state is telling you have to wait 25 days before you can apply for a new registration in your own name. But now, if my car is sitting there without plates, a cop can tow the vehicle because there's no plates and no registration.
Yeah.
So I feel like the 25 days is a complete arbitrary number, and they make it that's over 2 weeks. It's almost a month.
Yeah.
I feel like the state does that on purpose because they know, hey, if he has a car that's sitting on a driveway or on a curbside, or in a parking lot, if you're in an apartment complex or a garage, 25 days, that's inadequate enough time for a cop to come up and fucking, So then it's another fucking ticket, and you get pulled in. It's a misdemeanor, so, if you have a piece of shit judge who isn't that nice to you, this is what I was saying, that you get a permanent criminal record.
Yes.
That's what, we have to, backtrack.
Yeah.
You have a permanent criminal record. And I think I was using weed as an example. People in most states, it's decriminalized in New York, but if you're in other states and you get caught smoking weed, good luck trying to find a job. Once you have that on your record, good luck, right? And then the left tries to say that they're supporting the middle class and the working class. Meanwhile, It's those people who are getting fucked by cops, by the state, for every little thing that they do that, quite frankly, does not pose a threat to anyone else.
Yeah, laws aren't made to. They're not made to protect you. They're made to get the government more money.
Well, they're
made to get the fucking place more money, bro. Like half these laws aren't even to like benefit you or anybody. It's literally to benefit the people who are enacting them.
No, and I was saying
so they can get more money out of it.
And I was saying that the state depends on...
We're all being extorted money from us.
The state depends on court filings and traffic violation fines and other expenses due to that to make money.
Yeah.
It's just about money. They don't give a shit about the community. They don't give a shit about keeping anyone safe. I mean... You know, if you're sitting on a bench at a park smoking a joint in, I don't know, Georgia, you're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Yeah, which should be, like the actual scenario should be, oh, he's smoking a joint in public. A cop comes over there. Hey, you can't smoke that here. Okay. Leaves. It shouldn't be, hey, that's an illegal substance.
Get in the car.
Go fuck yourself. Get in the car. You're going away.
We're going to jail.
It's stupid. It's because that they just want your money
and
from the fucking ticket.
And
That's
I just
all
feel
they
like
want.
these cops have no idea the implications of what they're doing.
Because they're just trained to give you tickets and to enforce the law.
With
they're not
no
trained
empathy,
to protect
with
you.
no consideration, nothing.
They're not trained to protect you. They're not trained to do anything. They're trained to enforce the law.
And in some cases, you're literally giving them a life sentence of having a criminal record.
Yeah, and then these guys are like, oh, you broke the law. And it's just like, well, you're clearly not a part of the fucking community. Sorry. You're an outsider. You literally don't know how your community works. You don't know how to actually make the community better. You're just making the problem worse.
We'll protect the community when everyone is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, no, I can't.
Like, I'm not saying that cops are bad or anything, but, it's just that there's too many laws.
Traffic cops are. Highway patrol cops are.
Yeah.
Again, if you're having a domestic dispute, if you are... if you're a woman and your husband is beating the shit out of you and you need to call the cops and you need to have a dispute settled at your house.
Yeah, that's when you need the cops. That's
100%.
That's when the cops are actually needed.
Absolutely. If there's an accident and you need a report, absolutely.
Yes.
But these cops, who are literally, it is their job to just drive around on the expressway and just scan plates and look for anyone doing anything that's wrong.
They're going out of their way to look for trouble.
No, I can't.
It's like, that's not what cops are for.
No.
Cops are there so when things happen, they're there to go there.
Yep.
They're the responders.
Yep.
They're not there to prevent crime. They're there to fucking help crime.
You know what? If you're driving and you're on your phone, you get pulled over and that's 6 points on your license. Boom. And that's a Cuomo thing.
Yeah.
But if you're driving, and the ticket will be because you don't have two hands on the wheel, that's why.
Yeah.
But if you're driving and you stopped at a McDonald's drive-thru and you have a big thing of soda in your hand, that's fine. That's fine. So you could have your phone in your hand looking at a map, but you can't have a drink in your hand.
The thing is that I think that it's also technified as a distraction, but the thing is that the cops don't care enough to enforce that, so they're not going to enforce that as much as you texting,
Yep.
It's it's either that everything gets enforced
or nothing.
Or nothing gets enforced.
Yep.
You can't pick and choose. It's like you can't pick and choose what you want to believe out of a religion.
Yep. Well,
it's
that's
like you either go balls deep or you don't go in at all.
Yeah. Well, that's like what's going on with the masking, and it's like, so
the what?
Like masks.
Oh, with the mask, yeah.
It's like, I mean, no one's going to jail for not wearing a mask, so I don't know that really applies to this conversation, but it's just like, the more you try and enforce something, the more control and regulation you try and place on something, the more it becomes clear that it's impossible to do that.
Yeah. Or there's some sus shit about it,
Yeah.
It's like why are you putting it so hard,
Because it's first, you can't get tested unless you have all the symptoms. Like, do you have any idea how many people died as a result of that rule? Do you have any idea, like, early on when we didn't have the testing? You know, like, I was sick. I had a fever, but, like, I wasn't exhibiting a fever of 103. It was, like, 102.7 or whatever the hell
Yeah,
it was.
it's like you could have just fought off the virus better than the other person. Yeah.
And I wasn't tested. So then I go out and about. And who knows who I infected? Who knows who I exposed? You know? And it's just like when you try... And now it's like, oh, no, everybody's getting tested. It's no big deal. You know, but now it's like with the masks. It's like, well, you have to wear a mask if you are at a movie theater, but if you are eating popcorn, then you don't. So long as you're eating, you don't have to wear a mask. But what's to stop me from sitting at a movie?
It's the same fucking air that you're breathing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I understand. You're saying the same point that, like, I'm sitting there and then I have to put the mask off so I can eat. But what's the difference?
Well, what if I'm sitting here and I'm just doing this? One little piece of popcorn at a time, and now I'm not wearing my mask the entire time.
Yeah.
My parents tried quarantining me when I was sick, and I'm like, you fucking imbecile. I was like, this house has central air.
Mm-hmm.
Central air! I was like, you're sticking me in my room. I was like, the fucking air is being circulated throughout the whole house. What are you accomplishing? I was like,
there's a lot of
room.
Shit that doesn't make sense that happened during this pandemic that it was just like, why the fuck is that a rule? Like, why you, like, you know, like, there's a lot of things that didn't make sense that we needed to do, and then, like, it's just so aggravating when, like, you as a person know that something's right and it doesn't work, but there's all these other fucking people telling you.
And if you don't comply, then you're screwed.
Yeah. And it's just like, but you know the other people are fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, like, why the fuck do I have to, like... It's like, why do I have to go through this? Because other people are fucking stupid.
No, it's just fucking stupid.
It is fucking stupid.
I just can't. But it's just... I hate making it like a political thing, but it's just that it's a pattern. And again, I hope I'm warranted in talking about this, because like this is literally what I'm going to school for. It's just like the people who claim to know what's best don't. And the people who don't claim to know what's best actually do what's best.
Yeah, because they're more humble. Because ego wants to be right and wants to be, you know what I mean? Like, super egotistical want to be right and want to be in control because they are not in control and they are not right. You know, they want to come off as that so they don't have to actually do the work. But the people, and also they're insecure, you know? The people who are just like what you said, like they're just like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Like, they usually know what they're talking about. It's because they're more humble, you know? Like, they're not fueled by their ego. They're, like, not wanting to inject themselves into everything, you know? It's just like, if you want to actually know what's up, come tell me, but I'm not going to be up your ass, be like, oh, I'm right, listen to me, you know, like that shit. Like, that's how you know that people are fucking, like, that's how you know the difference between, like, who's right and who's wrong. Like,
no, it's just like, dude, this is fucking like Star Wars. Like, this is like the Empire. You know, it's like, we know what is best for the collective good of this country. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
You only want what's best for you.
Yeah.
And that's why you're in this position trying to enforce all these fucking
laws.
And
you'll paint whatever picture you have to paint to justify your actions.
Yeah.
And you'll turn a blind eye to the people who are suffering as a result of everything you do. And this isn't just with regards to the COVID pandemic. It's everything. Economically, over-policing. I think I used California as an example. Like, it's one of the bluest states. You cannot tell me that they haven't been able to do exactly what they wanted to do in that state from the very beginning. It's been blue forever. Yet you have the largest gap in income. And I think I used the example of Skid Row and Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Like, that exists in a blue state. That exists with people like Cuomo, de Blasio, people who claim to know what's in the best interest of the collective good.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't. You don't fucking know. You're over-policing these communities. People are getting fucked as a result, and they're ending up on the street.
Yeah.
And then you're walking all over them.
Yeah, and then what you said before also is that they turn around and wonder why there's so much, like, poverty and homeless people.
Because you're fucking these people's lives up for stupid shit that is not posing a risk to anyone else. And now they can't get a job, and they can't provide for themselves, and they can't keep a roof over their head.
Yeah.
What we should be
and
doing
then they
to
turn
fix
to
the
drugs,
poverty,
and then you know, like all this fucking
what
shit.
we should be doing to fix the poverty problem is giving people the resources that they need to be able to provide for themselves.
Yeah.
So long as you have someone who is dependent on the government for welfare,
they're not
going to
be able. It's like the whole thing. It's like give a man a fish, he'll be like satisfied for the day. It's like, but give a man the fucking fishing pole, then he'll be satisfied for the rest of his life.
How about this $800 a week unemployment thing? The government is incentivizing people to not have a job because you're making more money on unemployment than you are if you were at work.
Yeah, but the thing is that like when you're at work making your own money, you have that money. That's your money that you made. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, that's not your... Like, you know, like, as if the government's giving you money, they could take it away at any fucking point because they gave you that money. And then you're their bitch, and now you're their slave. And then now, if everybody is under this whole entire fucking whole universal basic income type shit, they have us all by the balls.
Well,
they can do anything they want. They can say anything they want. They'll be like, I'll pull your funds.
Wait, I have a buddy. I hope he doesn't hear this. But he was collecting unemployment. And again, it's one of the cases of, you know, the government is like, look what we can offer you. We're going to take care of you. We're going to give you unemployment. We're going to give you unemployment and you're going to be so well off. Right? So he's collecting his $800 a week. He's living great. But he's in a similar position to what I was in. He's trying to break away from his mom and do his own thing, become financially secure. So he doesn't have a line of credit at all because his mother has been bathing him his whole life. Mm. He applies for a credit card. He got declined. Why? Because his only source of revenue, his only source of income was unemployment. And no bank is going to approve a line of credit for which the only income is welfare.
Yeah.
And so again, it's like
because you're not
right.
you're not a reliable person.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is the argument that the Republicans are making in Congress, where they're like, short-term fixes, like short-term welfare, does not solve the problem because
it doesn't. It's only putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Because again, look at my buddy, right? So, all right, you give everybody stimulus checks, you give everybody unemployment. That's great. But when it comes time to actually apply for a line of credit or make more long-term resolutions and fixes and to move on with your life, it's impossible. What we should do is stop giving people what they need in the form of short-term welfare and invest in the infrastructure and the other things that would allow people to be able to get on their own footing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then at least then, you know, you can establish credit and then you're in a position to be buying a house, buying a car, doing your own thing.
Yeah, and because then the government doesn't have to be up everybody's fucking ass and making all these laws and fucking people over.
And now, if you know what? If you can buy your own car and you can buy your own house and you can buy your own everything, now you're not using state-funded public transportation. You're not using state-funded soup kitchens or shelters or any of these other things. And then the state will be able to make more money.
Yeah.
It would be better for the state in the long term if people aren't suckling at the teat.
It's true.
But that's what I had to say. I don't know. I get fucking heated.
No, it's true. It's like people dead ass just don't know shit. And then it comes down just to people, like the thing that bothers me is that like people will go like they're so for universal basic income and the government's taking care of them and stuff like that. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's the right thing to do. We're doing it for all these things, like all these good things and stuff. And then you realize, you talk to them more, they're just fucking lazy and they don't want to do their job. Yep. They want to sit home and do nothing all day. Yep. That's
why they want it.
Who they are. That's why they want it.
Yep.
Because then you talk to somebody else who works for their shit, doesn't give a fuck about any of that, and they're doing fine. And it's just like, it's up to the it's.
No, the people who are preaching for that, it's deep down, they just want it.
Yeah, they just want
I know
it.
a
It's
lot
like
of
they're
people.
not doing it for the greater good of people. They just want it because they don't want to fucking work. They don't want to like go do a job they don't want to do and shit like that. It's like, but then the thing is that like, but we live in a capitalist place that you can just fucking literally go and work anywhere that you want.
I have a couple of friends who got the stimulus check, and they donated it to charity because they didn't need it, and they couldn't they didn't want to be dependent on the government like that. So you're like, no, fuck you. I don't want your charity. I don't want your money.
Yeah.
I achieved for myself what I achieved. I'm going to give this to actual people who really need it.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't lose my job. I work from home. I'm making a pretty okay salary, all things considered.
Yeah.
All right? I have 2 jobs. I'm working by myself. I was not affected by COVID at all.
If anything, you fucking thrived during COVID, dude.
Yeah,
you
because
dead ass.
my job
you dead ass turned into a whole new ass
dude
person.
But not even that. Like my job went from sitting in 45 minutes rush hour traffic to go sit at a cubicle all day and then sit in rush hour coming home to, because of COVID, I work from home. And because of COVID and because of the amount of time that has elapsed that we've been working from home, we have no plans on going back. I'm staying home. That's what the company has decided. I forget what I was saying. Fuck.
You were saying pretty much you were thriving during COVID and shit like that.
I received every single stimulus check, all of them, and I'm most likely going to get this $1,400 one as well. And it's like, I don't need the money.
About that shit.
I don't need the money. Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't lose my job. I'm not providing for someone who lost their job. I'm living by myself. I'm providing for myself. I have this apartment. I didn't lose my job. Why am I getting the money? You know? But it's it's like these... Again, not to make it a left or right thing, but it's like the left, they just do this one size fits all. Everyone gets everything. Why is the deficit so fucking huge? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then what's the worst part is other things too. Like they snuck the $15 minimum wage in the COVID relief bill. And the Republicans were like, no, fuck you. Like, this is... Because they've been fighting for $15 minimum wage forever. And what the Democrats like to do is they like to pull on your heartstrings, and they like to emotionally guilt you.
Yeah.
And make
That's
you look...
make
you look like you're the sexist. You're the incompassionate one.
Yeah.
You're the piece of shit. We're the ones trying to help these people, and you're not.
Yeah.
And so what they did was they figured, here's a relief bill that's going to help millions of people. And we're going to sneak a $15 minimum wage in it like a Trojan horse and try and get what we want out of it.
Yeah.
They are taking advantage of the situation and on the people suffering and on the need for this bill to push to get that $50 minimum wage.
Yeah.
Republicans were like, no. They're like, we're okay with the bill. We're okay with the stimulus checks. We're okay with the budget for it. We're okay with everything. The $15 minimum wage should be looked at separately as a separate bill. 2 separate things.
Yeah.
And now the Democrats are trying to be like, oh, and now the Republicans are the roadblock, and they're the ones, not pushing for this. And now the American people aren't going to get the stimulus that they need and the financial support and relief that they need because of them opposing the $15 minimum wage. Meanwhile, if it wasn't for the Democrats putting the $15 minimum wage in the bill, it would have fucking passed last week. So who's the real one
that is
obstructing people's getting relief?
It's actually really aggravating that
But they'll put themselves on the moral high ground.
That's why I'm so done with fucking people after all this shit because I'm just because that's just a grander scheme of just people in general, you know? That's just overarching people.
Oh, let me
some people's thoughts patterns in general. That's just looking at some specific types of people, you know? You could it's literally fuck people like that. It's just cooperate, and if you're not gonna cooperate and then turn around bitch and complain because you're not getting what you want, it's go to hell. It's literally go to hell. You're fucking everybody over
because of your inability to get what you're preaching that you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you're being a dramatic bitch, and you need to swallow the pill. You need to fucking get over yourself and fucking
and it kills me, like,
just
these fucking
move
people,
on.
and these people who compare us to, like, you know, like the Nordic region, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Belgium, what's the other ones? Finland, Scotland, even Ireland. It's like all these socialist countries. Oh, we need to be. Bernie talks about them all the time. We need to be more like them. No, we need to be who we are.
It's like, why?
And
it's
if
like,
you want to be
we're
with
here
them
for a reason,
Yeah, dude.
having a whole other fucking like a whole other structure than everybody
Yep.
else in the world for a fucking reason.
Yep. And it's like, you know what? You want us to be more like them? Pack your bags and fucking leave.
Deadass.
Go away.
You have the ability to get out of
Don't
this
let the
country
door
and
hit
leave.
your ass on the way out.
Yeah.
We are the United States of America. We were not built on the government holding us by the balls and us being fucking, like, you know, slaves to the government forever.
We came here to be free.
Yep.
We came here to be individuals.
Free market,
and, yeah.
capitalism, the American dream. You know, everybody shits on billionaires. Like, that's what this country is about. That you can fucking
It's just like, you're just mad because you can't do it.
Yes.
You're just mad because you can't do it and you're fucking lazy and you're dumb.
Yes.
That's
No.
it.
Like all these, like fucking like Jeff Bezos and
Well,
Elon
not dumb. You're just lazy.
and
You're
Elon
just fucking
Musk
lazy.
and all these fucking like rich ass people. Like, oh well, you know, no one should be that rich. Why not?
It's
Why
like,
not?
why? It's like,
Why
it's
not?
just, you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know
You know
how to
what?
make it
I'm
myself,
sure
so I'm
that-
gonna shit on other people and try to take what they have and give it to me because I don't want to work as hard.
You know what? I'm sure that if any of these people saying those things, if any of them ended up winning the lottery and they became as rich as those people, I doubt they would want their riches taken away.
Do you know what's so funny? Bernie literally fucking turns around and is just like, he's always like going for like all this like universal basic income type shit, but then like he made all this money off of his book and everybody's like bitching to him and he's like, go make your own money.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, it's like you literally turned into like you were the guy.
He's fucking rich. He has a lake house. He's
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
loaded.
like, you were the guy who was looking at the billionaires telling them to give you money, you know, like that you shouldn't have that much. But
Maybe
then you
you
turned
should've-
around and
yeah.
made and became that person. And
Maybe
then
you should have donated the money you made to charity.
Yeah.
If you're so self-righteous.
It's dumb. It's like, I don't know, like I don't get how people can like literally
No.
look at all this politics
No.
shit and actually be like, yeah, I believe it 100%. It's like, no, it's like it's like a fucking fairy tale that we keep dragging on and on and on.
Yep.
Just for the sake of being like, oh, tradition. It's like, no, like what the fuck are you talking about? It's like it's not working. So it's like,
And like, you know what? I'm happy that Trump was elected in 2016 because you know what it showed? It showed that there is a large percentage of Americans who don't feel that way. That there's a large group of Americans who look at someone like Trump. Now again, not talking about his character, not talking because he right. I'm not arguing that.
yeah,
I'm just saying he's a successful business guy. He's made a lot of money. That we can look up to someone like that as an idol.
Yeah.
Not someone who we should be despising or spitting on or taking their money from. We should be looking up to these people, trying to emulate these people, trying to rise up to that caliber.
yeah. It's like in the way of making money and company wise, like not
personality.
Literally, yeah, not
Yep.
personality.
No, not at
being-
all.
Yeah, like we do not like Trump as a person.
No.
I do not condone any of his
No.
personal actions, but as a businessman,
Absolutely.
and the way he markets himself and stuff like that is very admirable
100%.
of what you could, you know,
Yeah.
like you like to look at that and say,
And
that-
honestly-
like to look at that and shit on him, like to say, like, you know, like that. It's just like, it's not hard to look at someone and say I don't like who they are,
Dude.
but the things that they accomplished were really good. It's like to say that the things they accomplished were bad just because you don't like that person. That's just ignorant.
If anything, the fact that someone like Trump can wind up that successful says a lot.
Yeah, it's just like
You know?
literally pieces of shit are
You get-
fucking
you know?
billionaires
Yeah.
all the time. It's
You
like
know?
now just imagine if an actual good person had that. That would be amplified by 10.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever read the book 1984
No.
or like Fahrenheit 451? You
Yes.
might have heard. Okay, it's just like these books, and it's like this is the shit that like you read about in school, and it's like all about censorship and
It's like a forewarning.
it's all censorship.
Yeah.
Yep. You know,
That's the one when they were burning all the books because they didn't want people to
be able to like gain knowledge about the truth.
Yeah, which is what's happening today, pretty much.
And then in 1984, it was the protagonist in the book. His job was to rewrite history books, to rewrite history, to be in alignment with whatever the
government wants
was.
To. Yeah, dude. I'm watching the show. I'm watching the show. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to spoil. Like, I don't want to like spoil anything. But like, the thing is that like it goes into this whole thing about like how like the government, like, cause like the whole thing was that like civilization ended. These people like came in and like kind of got civilization back on its feet again. But like they skewed it in their own way to make it like stable. You know, like they didn't teach the actual history that happened. They only taught the history that they wanted.
Yep.
So it could make everything stable. Yep. And then like they made everybody that was like a new generation like forget the old, only know what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit. It's like that's what's happening now. It's like everything's getting rewritten to fit the propaganda of what the leaders in position want to benefit them.
Harriet Tubman is being put on the $20 bill.
Really?
Yep.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Which personally, I don't really care. I mean, but
it's money's money. But it's just like the fact. It's like making a song, and then like having an original mix, and then deleting it, and then putting the original, like the new mix, and then not having the old mix. And it's like, well, people like the old mix, and now you're forcing everybody to like the new mix. But you can't have the like, you know what I mean? It's like the same shit. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, why didn't you just have, instead of getting rid of all of the old $20 bills, why don't just only have a little like new editions have Harriet Tubman, and then also just have both?
I think that's what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna like phase it out.
Okay. It's like, why can't you just have balance? Like, why do you have to erase everything? Why can't you just have, like, you know what I mean?
It's another thing, like the government controls.
It's like you need to learn from the past.
You know, the government controls the value of the dollar.
Yeah.
By printing and burning. So, like, if they want the value of the dollar to increase, they just burn more money.
Yeah, because then there's
and,
no
like,
physical.
Like, you can influence the stock market with that. You can like.
That's how you know how fucking fake everything is.
Crazy.
They set all this stuff up so they can only benefit.
The value of the dollar in my wallet is only as good as the government says it is.
Yeah.
And this notion that like and as a result of our decisions, we're going to increase inflation and cripple the economy. No, you're just gonna not burn as much money, and you're going to allow inflation to occur.
Dude, it's like it's fucking, it's all like a scam.
Yeah.
Everything's a scam. It's just all life is that like everything was just happening. A bunch of humans got smart enough and they were evil enough to fucking take a bunch of people and make a whole society and make a bunch of slaves, and we're still in it now. That's all that's happening.
Yep.
It's a bunch of people who hijacked the fucking system, and it has a bunch of people in mental slavery.
Dude,
that's all this fucking life is.
I just want to like pack up. I want to go live in like a little log cabin in the middle of nowhere. Just mind my own business.
But you can't do that because the government will be up your ass about property tax.
Yeah. Yep.
Even though that we have the right to do that and to not be, you know what they're still going to be up your ass. You don't own lands. It's just that we're just renting everything.
It's fucking crazy.
It's stupid.
Yep. And then don't even get me started, like, your social security number. Like, you're literally, like, you remember, like, Star Wars, like, the clones? Like,
yeah, you're just a number.
Every store, like, FN2187, like, fucking, like, you're, like, you have, like, a fucking code.
Yeah.
Or, like, in the fucking that's another fucking thing. Like, everyone shits on... Okay, this is gonna sound really bad. You're gonna compare it to the Holocaust?
I
do not condone...
I knew this was literally right when the numbers Social Security thing came in, and I just got a whiff of, like, I was like...
You know what I'm gonna do. Like, okay, I do not condone the Holocaust. And I
you can't right now.
What the fuck
Dead
are
ass.
you doing?
He's just like... If nobody sees Alex, like, oh my god! So then,
oh my god,
Alex and I are talking, and then Alex's cat's literally just like, looking at me with his
fucking leg
leg up, like just
stick out.
Yeah.
But no, like I do not condone the Holocaust, and honestly, I'm literally comparing the United States to that to just show how fucked our country is.
Yeah.
But like literally, everyone shits, like the United States was shitting on Nazi Germany, and you know, you have the Holocaust, and you tattoo these people, and you're just putting a number, and you're not looking at the human beings. It's like, we're literally assigned a number at birth.
Yeah.
Like, we are given a social security number. We are registered. You want to talk about slavery? Like,
we're all mental slavery. It's not physical slavery anymore. It's just
like, can you imagine if there was a time when you didn't have to, like, it's funny because like I think I saw it on TikTok or whatever, and it was like has anyone ever thought? I think it was like this girl on TikTok, and she was like, has any other girl ever thought about like finding a guy, getting married, having kids, and like not registering them with the government, and like not telling the government that they were born, and just like not buying, but like just like settling down on a piece of like land, not registered with the government. There's no address. There's no mail coming to you at all, and you just live off the fat of the land, and you just hunt, and you just have a good time, and you just enjoy your life, and you die, and you have a good life. It's like, what a fucking concept.
Yeah.
Like, why don't more people do that?
because that's how life is
Do you know what
actually
I mean?
supposed to be. But
Like,
then society makes you not want. It's like society brainwashes you to do the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Go into the whole be a cog in the machine type shit. It's because then you're benefiting the people at the top. You know, they're brainwashing you to make it be like, oh, that's all life is. So you don't even think about breaking out of that machine, because if you break out of that machine, then they're not making as much money. And then if everybody collectively does that, the whole entire machine collapses.
Yep. That's corporate America.
Yeah. It's like, that's the whole thing. It's like we all need to just collectively just stop.
Yep.
And then we live off the land and do what we're actually supposed to be doing, and like having a community, and just like, you know, it's like, why do we have to all work for this company to make money to give to other people? Why can't we just all have skills that we help other people with, or do a bartering system with? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like money should just be like kind of like a side thing, just in case if you don't have like as much trade. Whatever, you know, it's just like it should be a little like fluff to kind of fill the space, instead of like you only have fucking money, you know, like it's so fucking so stupid.
I just can't. Fuck government altogether. It's all the same. Everyone shits on, like, you know, oh no, like fucking, you know, Stalin's bad, Hitler's bad, but Angela Merkel is she's okay, and, you know, fucking Boris Johnson is okay, and this person's okay, and that person's not, and it's all the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. You know, it's just
that's
like,
not enough history has passed that we could just reflect in, look, you know, like, just because we're in it. Weird how my fucking phone just turned on right after I said that.
Really?
Yeah, it literally just fucking flashed on, dude.
Fuck.
But
stop licking yourself.
No, but also what I was thinking was that literally World War II, right after we defeated Nazi Germany, we literally just took all the fucking Nazis and just brought them to America
and assimilated them. And they were fine.
And then now we just became new Nazi Germany.
That is the premise of not The Boys.
It just moved.
There was another show.
It didn't get defeated. It just moved to America. That's all it did. That's all it did. America just became the new fucking Germany.
Fucking wild, dude.
So, that has concluded this mini episode of Wrath of Aquarius What did I even say?
Wrath of Aquarius.
The Wrath of Aquarius podcast. This concludes the Wrath of Aquarius podcast. We have been your hosts, Matthew Sicilia.
And Alex Bordonaro.
Yeah.
And Charlie the cat.
And Charlie the cat.
Cock-sucking cat.
Sucking his own cack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucking your own cat.
Good night, everyone.